You're watching FemChef FGC. Like and subscribe to my favorite gladiator on the Citadel.
Hello YouTube, it's me FemChef, and I am doing my channel member replay reviews for the month. But one of my channel members, imAstra, has been playing a certain anime horse racing game, and it doesn't really have any current replays for me to review, so he instead requested a review of general defensive options in the corner. And I thought this might be useful to other people too, so I made it its own dedicated video, and this is that. I'm going to be using Mai for a bunch of my examples on throw defense because she has a really easy throw loop to demonstrate with. So, the main thing that I want to talk about with corner defense is dealing with throws. Because a lot of characters in this game have a throw loop. How many times did this happen to you?
Stay down. Stay down. Stay down.
And you can't mash out of it, so eventually you want to throw tech.
Stay down.
And that is the most common option that people will do to get out of the situation. And it works,
Stay down.
or they'll try to jump out. But those are not the only ways to beat throw. And I want to talk about some of the risk reward on the different ways to beat throw. For one thing, an immediate throw tech, if you're hitting throw as soon as you get off the ground, then if Mai instead does a meaty instead of another throw,
Stay down.
you just get hit. So a way that a lot of people attempt to alleviate that situation is a little option select called the delay throw tech. And the way that you do that is when you get off the ground, you wait for like a breath, a fraction of a second, during which you are crouch blocking, and then you hit throw. And the result of this is that if Mai hits you immediately, you block the button. But if Mai tries to throw you, you still hit throw, and you break the throw. So you block the meaty, and you break the throw. And just to demonstrate that, here's the throw loop.
Stay down.
Break the throw. Here's the meaty.
Stay down.
You block the meaty. And this can seem pretty foolproof in lower ranks. I would say until like mid-platinum, it kind of just seems like the end-all be-all solution of corner defense. But there is a triangle of ways to pressure in this game. You can hit them, you can throw them, or you can shimmy them. And a shimmy is when you are in an advantageous situation, you make it look like you're going to throw them, so they try to break the throw, but you walk back just a tiny bit, and then you punish their throw coming out into nothing. And if somebody shimmies you when you did a delay tech, it'll block the button, and it'll break the throw, but it'll get you killed if they shimmy.
Stay down.
Like that, into a huge combo. So initially, it can very much seem like shimmy is the most broken possible offensive option. Because what are you going to do about it if they're just barely walking away from you? How are you going to stop that? And well, the solution to that is largely to wake up with a crouch medium. And Marissa's crouch medium is not as good to demonstrate this with as a more traditional archetype, so I am actually going to switch to Ken, but I'll still talk about how this works for Marissa. At least in short. I know you, Astra, you play Guile, so I don't think you have a cancelable traditional crouch medium kick, if I'm remembering correctly. So I'll definitely go over what to do if you don't have a traditional crouch medium kick drive rush as well. But the solution to the shimmy is if they are walking away from you, that means they're standing up, which means you can hit them low. So if I'm Ken, and I think they're going to shimmy,
Stay down.
wake up low. Now, what's the problem with wake up low? Well, if I'm hitting a button as soon as I get off the ground, then if they're just trying to hit me, they'll hit me out of my button.
Stay down.
So, delay tech lets you block and break throws, but wake up button only beats shimmy. You'll still get hit by the meaty. Well, this is where the second option select comes in, and this blew my mind the first time somebody explained it to me. And that is, instead of doing a delay throw tech on your wake up, you're doing a delay crouch medium, ideally a low, on your wake up. And because you are delaying it, if my goes for a meaty,
Stay down.
you'll still block it. But if my goes for her shimmy,
Stay down.
you'll get the shimmy call out. If my just walked back a tiny bit and blocked, and you don't actually get the combo, that doesn't mean that the buffered drive rush cancel doesn't get you anything.
Stay down.
If this happens, there are still things you can do off of that situation if you get the drive rush cancel. I'm just gonna set her to block all here. After you do a crouch medium drive rush cancel, there are basically three things you can do. Number one is you can just attempt to back throw them into the corner and switch sides. Number two is you can do something that is a frame trap. So if they mashed a button, then they'll get hit. And let's just set mine to mash light punch here. However, the problem with the back throw or the frame trap option is that if your opponent has an invincible reversal, it can beat both options and keep you in the corner. The way to prevent this is to instead do your crouch medium drive rush into a 4-frame light. Because this is a block string. As you see, the reversal does not come out until after because there's no gap. The only thing they could do after you turn green is a drive reversal, and until higher ranks, people aren't really going to be doing that as often as they are just going to be trying to DP. So if you don't want to risk the DP, you can just go your true string into your light, and that leaves you plus enough that you can then either try to frame trap them, try to tick throw back throw them, or actually shimmy if you think they're worried about getting back thrown and that they're actually going to try to break your throw. I think the wake up crouch medium delay is a lot stronger than you might expect at first glance. It's something that really changed corner defense for me in a big way. If your character does not have a good cancelable low, like Marissa, then calling out the shimmy unless they autopiloted a button is not likely to get you a hit. But it can still put you into that situation where you get your drive rush on block and get to enforce a guess and enforce some pressure. So it's still a very strong option. Now, what else can you do that beats throw? If Mai is just throw looping you, what else can you do? Well, besides jump out, another option that beats throw is backdash.
Stay down. Wait.
And that leaves Ken
Stay down.
+4, which means he actually gets a punish. Oop.
Stay down. Huh?
Not every character is actually plus enough to get a punish after backdash, particularly Marissa has a very slow backdash and does not get a guaranteed punish. But even if you don't get a guaranteed punish off of your backdash, it is a way to guess throw that is not automatically vulnerable to the shimmy. Because if Mai is shimmying, actually,
Stay down.
you see it doesn't get blown up.
Stay down. down.
Like, you can't punish the backdash on reaction. The delayed button to punish the throw tech. If I were doing a delay throw tech here, I die. But if I decide to guess backdash instead, and she went for shimmy, I don't die for it. So it's potentially lower reward depending on what character you play and your resources, but it allows you to guess that they're going to throw you without risking the throw tech. Jumping out of the corner, worth noting as far as defensive options go, if you jump out of the corner during a throw loop,
Stay down.
then you're gonna go over their head and they can DP you, but even after my DPs me from here, I'm still out of the corner. If your opponent is standing closer to like under the timer here, and you try to jump out, they can anti-air you while keeping you in the corner. So jumping out is a much less viable defensive option if they're a little further away from you. Because even if you get away with starting the jump, if they anti-air you, you're not out of the corner. You want it to be where at least if they anti-air you, you paid the easy pass toll and now you're out of the corner. Because if Mai just tries to jump from here, let me just record a jump out. Ugh. If you're spaced out, you can always keep them in the corner. Whereas if she jumps over me from here, she's out of the corner even if I anti-air her. So it's worth considering where your opponent is standing before you decide to go for jumps. Everything about corner defense comes down to risk reward. So sometimes it's not even that you guessed wrong, it's that you guessed unwisely. Because there are so many ways to, for instance, guess throw in a throw loop. And not all of them just auto-lose to shimmy the way that an autopilot delay tech does. This is Editing Room Shep, and I also wanted to mention that when it comes to guessing throw, if you choose to guess throw with a throw tech of some kind,
Stay down.
you notice anything about that situation?
Huh? Stay down. Stay down.
You're still in the corner. You guessed right. You guessed she was going to throw you, but you are still in the corner. And so that is where considering position as well when you're making your decisions is pretty important. Because if you had gone for backdash, you probably could have gotten a punish that gets you out of the corner. If you had gone for jump, then you could have jumped your way out of the corner. And also a risk reward option that I didn't really mention because it's a bad idea so much of the time is obviously just the invincible reversal, which, as you can see, even Ken's pretty standard DP is -40 on block there. So you get massively blown up. Technically, you can guess they are going to strike or throw me with ODDP or with the delay tech. And it's the same guess, but they hold potential different levels of risk. And considering the risk of the DP, I think is more important than just considering how likely it is that you're right, that it is going to blow through something. Because maybe it's worth just sending it if you have full health and full resources. And if you're wrong, you go down to 50% health and you lose a little bit of drive, but you still have super, you still have drive meter, you still have health. Whereas if you're at 50% health, or if that DP is going to burn you out, or if the punish afterwards could burn you out, then you're not just risking the initial damage. You're putting yourself in a situation that's extremely difficult to recover from. And I wanted to make sure I mentioned that as well. So it's worth considering your resources, your opponent's resources, your position on the screen. Is it final round? What can you get if you're right? What might happen to you if you're wrong? If your opponent has full resources and they could kill you with a 60% combo, it might not be a good idea to go for that delay tech. It might be to your advantage to either just let them throw you for a bit, or if you really want to guess throw, go for backdash or go for the delay, wake up, crouch medium as a call out that does not auto lose to shimmy. And obviously there are a lot of defensive options in this game. You can drive reversal in a block string, you can try to go for wake up perfect parry, you can do an invincible reversal of a DP or a super, you can mash a button, and there are layers and layers of counterplay for everything. I said delay tech beats them trying to hit you or them trying to throw you. Well, they can actually beat delay tech by just delaying their button as well, and then still hit you, even though you did the thing that's supposed to prevent them from hitting you. So it's mind games, it's layers on layers, but the simplest place to start is just meaty throw, meaty strike, or shimmy, and understanding which options you have that cover which of those options, with your main option selects being delay tech to beat button and throw, or delay crouch medium to beat button or shimmy. I think that's probably a decent place to start. I would say also be aware of when your opponent has done a lot of buttons that has now pushed them away from you blocking those buttons. Once your opponent is spaced out a little bit, you can start walking forward a little bit. Because once they're spaced out, they can't just continue to hit you without walking forward again. So you can try to press your own buttons, you can walk forward and press your own buttons. You don't have to glue yourself to the wall and just let them continue to do stuff to you until you get a lucky jump out or an invincible reversal. You can begin to retake your space after their offense starts to push them out. And that's very important as well. If you do get a perfect parry in the corner, also pretty much always to your advantage, unless you can kill with a big combo, always go for the back throw for the side switch so that you can flip the situation on its head and potentially turn the round around in your favor. If you have any other questions, Astra, hit me up in the dedicated YouTube channel members channel of the Discord. If anybody else is interested in becoming a YouTube channel member, the link for that is in the description. Thank you for watching. When in doubt, Gladius, and have a great day.
Where are you going? Before hitting like and subscribe,